How is everybody?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up?
Hey.
We also brought in some of our Instagram fans. They're watching.
Oh, what?
There too. So,
I love that.
It's like that's like Inception. That's like another layer of the internet inside the internet. I like that.
It is.
Yeah, that's sort of weird. Okay.
Well, Lisa, take the reins. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Lisa, take the reins. I'm gonna see if I can get this poll working.
Sure, no problem. So, guys, welcome. We're so happy to have you. For people who might not be familiar with who you are, can you please just go around the room real quick and say who you are and what your position is?
My name is Angel Graves. I am the lead vocalist of Devil's Envy.
Sean, drummer, co-founder with Angel.
Ryan, guitar.
I'm Paulie Z, bassist, but I'm going after the drummer's job. Give it 2 months.
That's killer.
I like that. I like it.
Go for that with an intense amount of energy. You know, I mean, if you're going to go for something, just go for it, right?
Right.
Do you have the qualifications?
So, he does. He actually hits the.
All he does is scare me that he's going to break my cymbal. So that's all he does.
We'll send you a video of that. It's amazing.
Please do.
Yeah, let's do it. We can share that out.
Yeah.
So we've been playing you a little bit on the sound. So let's go back to the beginning. How did Devil's Envy come around?
Funny story is Sean and I, we were in another band, more pop alternative called Stiletto Red. And before the band had broken up, he and I were kind of writing some more like hard rock metal riffage together, and we would, in between rehearsals, we'd like jam out some stuff. And fast forward, we met a bass player for the band Black Tide. That might ring a few bells out there for some of your listeners. Black Tide has been around for a while, and Zach Sandler has helped us kind of develop the band from what it used to be. And it used to be called another name called Embrace the Envy. We were more like what, heavy metal, more like it was very theatrical sounding. And Zach came in, he added more of this pop punk element to it, and it kind of changed the dynamic. And we decided, like, hey, you know what, this is more fun, this is more organic, let's go with that. And then after about a year and a half or two before it was like officially launched, Zach was recruited to join Falling in Reverse. And then Sean and I were left again, just the two of us. And then ex-Black Tide member Austin Diaz joined us on guitar, and then it took off from there. Yep. And we just kept writing, and like whatever we felt in those moments, different years were different chapters for us to write. It kind of developed towards what we sound like now. We don't stray away too much from our roots. We kind of stay along the line of like our metal influences, our hard rock influences, and we kind of like to keep the melodies going. Like we've been known to be a very melodic band, thrown on top of like heavy metal riffage, and still keep it kind of heavy, but also keep it more accessible to what we like, with more melodic influences and such.
Yeah, I dig that. To me, oh, sorry, Matt. I was gonna say the melodic stuff. The melodic stuff to me always makes the heavier stuff sound heavier, right? When you kind of go back and forth. That's why I always dig that, and I hate when like bands, if you ignore that whole side of things, that it just adds another element to the song. So I'm always a fan of that.
Yeah, I agree. Sean and I have we've kind of had like this dynamic where we would write a certain way, and then we kind of had like a gatekeeping towards it, and we realized that like every member that does come in, whether they're in temporarily or they've joined us for the long haul, like Brian and Paul have, we've always been open to let those members come in and give their influence over the music we've written. We've been fortunate to have great songwriters and performers. Like before I was even a lead singer in the band, we had Ryan Patrick, we've had Justin Sims. Mm-hmm. We've played with other talented players like Jeff Fernandez and Nick. We've always kind of opened the door and let them, place their ideas on the table. I was like, hey, whatever you guys want to, any ideas you have, like contribute. We've always been open to that, and they've kind of understood where we would come from, where I'm very heavy on like melody, and I got to be able to sing over it because that's more my influence. You know, I've always been a fan of like how Dimebag Darrell would like, he basically would sing over the riffs like when he's doing solos, and from all the way to like Prince and Michael Jackson, and those were a lot of like my melodic influences that I like to look up to when applying like our lyrics and everything to our music.
So, how long has the current lineup been together?
4 years, 5 years.
4 years, right?
Well,
I
Mike joined earlier this year.
I joined back in 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
I don't remember. And then we pulled Brian in with about a year after that, maybe even less.
I think it was less.
Yeah. So us four here, we've been together since 2018. Say that.
Okay. So, how have you found then acting as a unit since then? I mean, that's if I count on my fingers, what, 5 years together? How do you find that that's affecting the dynamic in terms of influencing the music that you're putting out? Are you guys sort of pretty tight as a unit? Are you melding? It sounds like you're melding well then on all of your influences. What are some of the other aspects do you think that the other members are bringing in, Angel? Influence wise.
Well, as far as that, and then we also have to we didn't officially announce. Actually, we did officially announce our new guitar player, Mike Lombardo. He's also been a fantastic musician to work with, and he's kind of been like that diamond in the rough. Like he's got his own career and everything, and you know he's also like active military, which is awesome. But the dude is in love with guitar tone, and I think that the last three members that have joined have added so much, which we're very eager to release a lot of that music that's been written and recorded.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Paul's written songs like, you know, it's kind of unheard of these days. Usually it's just like one sole member that will kind of like guide and write everything now. But that's like 80% of a lot of the active rock acts that are out now. But we kind of have that dynamic, like, you know, everybody adds their flair, their style, and we kind of blend it together, but still shape and form to where it's okay. You know, that's Devil's Envy. It's like, okay, they went softer here, but okay, that kind of lick there, that's very reminiscent of their old stuff. Or if you've been a fan since 2016, you can kind of piggyback off of like older stuff and listen to the new stuff. It's like, okay, they still have that in there. And these guys, Paul and Brian and Mike, you know, they've added so much now. Like I said, we could only say but so much. Like the most recent would be what Ghost and or even Lone Wolf. Like we've kind of gone back and switched it up because that was originally written by Sean, Jeff, and I. And then we brought Brian in. He added pretty much his personality onto like some of the faster stuff too. So it's always been how do you say, like very inspirational and motivating to have 5 members that are just as passionate, you know, with songwriting, not just performing. I think that's a pretty big deal for all of us involved.
We're also pretty open-minded, which is a good thing. Yeah. And we work well together. There's never any arguing or any kind of, what do you want to call it? Just competition, you know, in any way, trying to see who can outshine the other. It's actually a very good process that's always worked out pretty quick. It's kind of scary. You get us 5 in a room, and we can kick out a song pretty quickly. You'll soon see they'll be coming out pretty soon.
Yeah, leaving egos. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no egos.
Well, I was going to say quickly. So, like when Paul and I joined, you know, as far as contributing and writing, you know, new material, we kind of took the nucleus and respected the nucleus of what Angel and Sean had done as far as the core sound of the band, and sort of respected that and just kind of did our own thing and kind of added to it and tweaked it a little bit. Kept the core sound of the band as it was originally established, because that's the Devil's Envy sound, you know. So,
well, the core of the writing started out Angel and I, like, so Psycho was our first one that got added to Octane's Test Drive, and that literally was written. I was laying on that couch back there, and I just gave him a guitar riff, and then we jammed. Yeah,
it's an authentic couch.
It's a different couch. Okay, first off. Yeah, so we jammed that out for probably hour and a half, wrote the drum parts to it, and then I came back 2 days later and he had the chorus all written out and But then there's a couple songs coming out where Paul brought in a bass idea that turned into a complete song. Brian wrote a huge guitar solo that we ended up adding into one of the songs, and it just brings like this whole bridge element out of that song. Like it really makes it pop. So yeah, it makes it a lot easier. Because for the most of the time it's been just me and Angel for the majority of it, but we've had like Zach and Austin and all these guys that feed their ideas into it. It really gives it a diverse sound, so keeps us from like repeating ourselves, I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
so. Do you like, because we see it a lot of the time with these up and coming bands go through members because of like commitment issues and day jobs, and it's a lot. Do you find that having these past band members that they influence how you sound now?
A little bit, I would say. I would say that we've gotten into the band is pretty much, it's basically 10 years old. It's 9 or 10 years old. So we're around that time where our influences from everything me and Angel used to listen to and play together with at practice has we've used that and we've created our own sound. So you'll hear influences from everybody that we've worked with, but I think it's definitely helped to create a unique sound, and now we're kind of in a groove of like we'll come up with an idea, and it's very easy to take just one idea now and it turns into, okay, that sounds like what we would do.
Yeah, after 10 years in it, that even though with the revolving members, like you say, it takes getting ego out of the way and being able to like make sure you're doing what's best for the song, right? When someone brings their own part to it, and that's usually when like a band is a solid songwriter, and it shows in the music. So I think that's a good kind of a transition here to jump into the song. If Lisa, what do you think?
Oh, I think so. I know that I believe that what we have is a cover, but it's a damn good one. I think we should do it, and then we can talk to them about it after, unless you guys want to. We have a thing here. You can either tell us everything or tell us nothing. So
we'll tell you nothing first. Watch the video, then we'll spill the beans. We'll give you some Easter eggs to look for.
I like it.
That's a solid plan.
That'll work.
All right, let's roll.
It's Devil's Envy, Lone Wolf. So you're watching the sound.
Oh wait, that's not the cover.
No, I thought he was.
Whoa! I'm just playing what I was told here.
I thought you were playing something else.
That's the OG.
Yeah. No, that's
wait a minute.
We are live, people.
That's the beauty of live, man.
Hey, I said it before we went live.
You can play that one too. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah. Get those hashtags in the comments. Hashtag Lisa fucked up.
Oh no.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, it's usually I usually wear
Jared.
that crown.
It's usually Jared.
Yeah, it's not the first mistake that's ever been made on this show. So let's back it up. So we have Lone Wolf queued up, right? That's what we got here. So still do. Let's roll with Tell Us Nothing, and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
All righty.
And you're still watching the sound.
Love that song.
Yeah.
All right, so now you have to tell us.
Okay, so this song was interesting enough. Just I think it was about like 3-4 in the morning. We had our old studio back in the day. We were writing with Jeff Fernandez, our old bass player at the time.
Shout out Hefe.
We were under some influence here at the studio. It was late at night, and we had Teen Wolf playing on the TV screen, and just watching, like, we had like this sick riff going like pretty fast. It was actually recorded much faster than what was released. This was recorded back in 2017, written, everything. It was even mastered at one point. And we decided, dude, this is way too fast to play live. We got to re-record it. And when Brian joined us, he was kind enough to let me slave drive him to re-record all those guitars and slow it down. Sean had to re-record the drums and slow it down. And it got more of like a bounce groove to it. And lyrically, it was all inspired by that Teen Wolf movie, and of course some like personal stuff. And it was such an aggressive and fast song. I think we have so much fun playing it. I think we feel like it's too short.
Like Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Speaking-
how Teen Wolf, like that seems like a bit of a unique inspiration for a song.
I know it was kind of crazy though, because we were just watching, like, dude, he's just there, just like getting picked on, and all of a sudden he's like just unleashes that beast, and I thought it was pretty cool. It's just like old 80s nostalgia vibe, but
Oh yeah.
I thought, like, okay, let's write something about that. I thought it was pretty awesome to write about.
I mean, speaking of performing, you guys just performed at Incarceration Festival not too long ago. Tell us about that. What was that like for you?
Yes,
That was nuts because what was funny about that is we were talking about that the previous year because I had seen they did like a drone flyover video. I think Spirit Box is playing.
Oh, the drone. Yeah.
Yeah. And
It's incredible.
yeah, I was like, dude, that is a cool festival. I would like to play that. And then I think it was like 3 or 4 months later, he sent me a message. He's like, hey, I need to know if you guys are free for like middle of July because we might get the incarceration slot. So we ended up getting it, and then we all had to book flights and got everything up there. It was crazy.
yeah.
But everybody up there was super nice.
We thought like we even thought like, okay, we're a baby band, we're gonna go on, like the small stage, and don't expect like 1,000 people to be there. And I'm like expecting the worst. There's like at least 5,000 people standing out there buying merch, just watching us, just really like vibing. We even had the POD guys just come and check us out, and shout out to the band Lone Wolf and Sid Stratton.
Yep.
We even had like members of like other bands were like walking around like checking us out, and of course major shout out to Chris and Dan Jansen with Incarceration. Those guys are phenomenal. They looked out for us, and it all took one handshake, and he was like, hey, by the way, I checked out your music, this is crazy, but do you want to come out and play this festival? Yeah, sure, wait, give me a
Yeah.
We answered him like an hour like, hey man, yeah, we're gonna do it, let's go. Yeah, it was such an amazing, like, we felt so welcome from every band that was out there.
All the crew that was everybody involved with that festival is really awesome. Like even down to the security guys that they hire for the stages, and they're all super nice people, and they treat all the artists like super well. It was weird, like being in the artist area with all these, big bands. Like, yeah, Fred Durst is walking by when I'm like backstage drinking a beer, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? I'm like, I grew up listening to these bands. I was in high school when all these bands were huge, and now I'm like backstage and we're all hanging out and like drinking and have a good time. It was weird, but it was cool.
Okay, well, wait a minute. I mean, like, I'm surprised it took you that long to answer. That's what I was going to say. Like, I can't believe I would have been like not even talking to my bandmates.
The only reason it takes that long is we have to make sure that everybody can with theirs, because they both have careers. Like I have my family business, but me and Angel are the most flexible because this is our baby, and they're gracious enough to put all their time and money into it. So we just have to make sure they can get their flights and all the schedules in order before we just say yes. And
we sacrifice a lot. All
Yeah.
of us sacrifice a lot. It's just, it takes us very little time.
So was it a case of messaging the band saying, look, hey, can we do this? Or was it a case of clear your schedule, we are going?
It was more like, hey, can you guys do this? Like, no hard feelings if you can't, like, just let us know. And we showed him who was on it and everything. It was like, heck yeah, dude, I'm figuring out my books.
Yeah.
Paul gave us quite a bit of a scare. Like one week he was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And then the following week was like, oh man, you know what, something about work. And we're like, oh man, like please don't tell us. And then close to it, he's like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. Screw it. I'm gonna clear my books, do it. And we freaking gave him bear hugs every day after that. So it's such a great experience.
Totally worth it, and we're doing that again, very soon. And actually later this month, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
Yeah. Please tell us about your show in Vegas.
Actually, go ahead.
Whew, that is
So it's Scary Kids. Scaring Kids is the headliner, and then we're playing with a really cool band. I believe they're from Finland.
Yeah.
Called Blind Channel. They were on the
Yes.
they were on that Eurovision Song Contest. I checked that. I think that Dead Zone song is the one. It's got like 70 million plays on Spotify.
That's their latest release.
Yeah, and it just got added to Octane, so that'll be cool to play with those guys for sure.
Yeah.
But it's on Fremont. It's called Fremont Country Club. It's like I think it's like 1,000 cap venue. So it's a really cool venue. So we'll be out there I'll be out there for 4 days. I think everybody will be out there for at least 3. So
sweet. Fremont Street, if I remember correctly, that's old Vegas, right? All the original. Yeah, I like it down there. So that's a cool vibe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fremont was cool. That the Artist Hotel that G2 puts up there. I think it's it's like right next to the venue, but it's a great hotel and they really take care of the artists. So
did you say what the venue is? Like where you actually playing? I didn't hear you if you did.
Yeah, it's called Fremont Country Club. It's not
Fremont
a country
club.
club.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a country
yeah, but it's not a country club. Yeah.
I wish it was.
We got so many messages like, "Why are you guys playing at a golf course?" I was like, "We're not.
It's not.
It's a venue."
Which would be cool if you showed up to play the show in like 1990s golf attire, and we're just like, well, we didn't know. We didn't just play the whole show like that. Collared shirts tucked in. Yeah.
Just dress up like
cardigan.
Happy.
Yeah. Cardigans, the whole 9, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh God, do it.
I would do it.
That would make a great video.
It would make a fucking awesome video.
Great content. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
No, that's not happening.
So, what else have you boys got in the works that we can go as close to the wire of some inside information without pissing Chanel off?
That's Angel's department because I'll say something I'm not supposed to.
Well, actually, actually, before we say that, let's give a shout out to our homies, Breathing Theory.
Please do.
Tuned in.
Oh, are they?
Breathing Theory is actually it was a local band here from Florida. They are up and comers as well. They're pretty badass. But yes, as far as new music coming, of course, just like any other band out there in the industry today, like there are some variables that happen. We had planned, but we had to do a little pushback with our upcoming release. We won't mention the name. We just want it to be a really good, successful release. We kind of hinted at it before. However, we do have some really exciting news coming. We have some local Orlando show coming up. And then it's looking like possibly spring we'll have some new music out for you guys to enjoy and listen to, rock out with. But that's pretty much just the gist of so far. I mean, we have a whole record written. It's all finished and it's still adding to it. We go back and revisit some things and kind of study the climate. But like I said, unfortunately, we've had to have some pushback on it. But it's going to be very, very soon that we have it out, and we're very excited. This is very new for us. A lot of new, crazy, dynamic stuff going on, and some of the new tracks that we've put together as a band, not just myself and Sean, which is very. It can be exciting and also kind of make some of us kind of nervous because it's like, okay, this is something we haven't done in a long time. We have like all 5 members, including Mikey, contribute to what's going to be our new record, but we don't know when that new record's coming out either. So we're still on the boat as far as like just single bass releases until we can build a really solid community, a really solid dedicated fan base that's widespread enough for us to get a full record out there and hit it and take off from there. So it's not like we're holding back. It says there's a right time and a right way to do all of it. And I've been blessed and cursed with all that information with a lot of the artists I work with, a lot of the bands that I've had the fortunate opportunity to work for and work with, that they all kind of take me under their wing and they guide me through it, and they they try to instill that discipline in me, and as far as how I can teach the band, like, hey, this is what the puzzle pieces and the steps we have to take to do this. So let's just put our best foot forward and put out the best singles we can at a moment of time, and just keep promoting and campaigning it until we can build that solid sea of people that could come out and we could sell out a 1,200 cap room in every other city, and then really put out a banging record and be proud of it, and all our fans can be proud of it. But right now we're in this building stage. We're just gathering as many relatable listeners as we can, because we know there are good fans out there that will embrace our music. It's kind of hit or miss right now, but we're kind of stepping out and branching out. We have a couple of fans out in even Russia, some in Australia, and we know for sure that once it starts going, it'll take its momentum in due time. When the universe says it's right, it'll be right. But right now, we are very thankful to have the fans that we do have, but we have not forgotten you. We will still continue to put out music.
In short, we have no idea.
Yeah.
The hair didn't win the race.
It's coming.
Sometime.
Angel is going to be
Sometime.
running for some political position here pretty soon.
That's
Yeah.
not
Right.
Nope.
Right. With an answer like that, I love it. Yeah. But no, you're right though. I mean, and that's good, because we do, we focus on up and coming artists, and I hope that they're listening to that, because it is important, right? To structure your releases. We were talking about that earlier. I mean, it's not just to be the band saying, big news coming. I mean, there's reasons why people do it that way.
Yeah.
The
Right.
Florida scene is crazy
You know-
too, especially the local scene here. It's cool to see bands get picked up. Like we're buddies with that
With Dark
with
Divine.
Dark Divine. They're on
Yeah.
Thriller Records. They're
Yeah.
doing the Black Veil Brides tour coming up. I've been friends with Jay for years. So, and
They actually
he's been
rented the spot right behind us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They rehearsed.
behind. where we're
They
sitting
rehearsed right
in
next to
their
us.
rehearsal
Yeah.
studio.
It was like, hey
Yeah.
man, we gotta knock on the door. Like, dude, we're trying to record vocals in here, man. Just keep it down.
yeah.
Stop with the screaming all the time.
Yeah, and then we got you Stratton up at Ink. Those guys are killer. So it's cool. Like the scene. I've been a part of the scene here with Angel since I was 19, 20 years old. But there was like a kind of like a dead zone, and now you're seeing Dark Divine getting signed, and Breathing Theory's doing their thing. They're touring nationally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean everybody's starting to like hit their groove. So it's really cool to see.
Yeah.
Well, the
Yeah,
pandemic
it's
actually
crazy.
for a while, obviously
Yeah.
for the whole world, right?
Right.
And we had some momentum we felt right, prior to, and as soon as that happened, we, like everybody else, well, most bands, we took a few steps back, and there was actually some question as to whether we were going to resume. And I'm very happy that we did. And we just started to resume again about a year ago, and I like the momentum.
Yeah. I think with the rebranding and everything, it kind of almost like hitting a restart button.
Mhm.
I think for a while we even also considered like, hey, you know what? Maybe we should just delete all the old stuff off our socials, everything. But then we kind of sat back and said, do we want to do that, or do we want to show people that we had growth and longevity, instead of, oh, that band came out of nowhere and all of a sudden they're popular? It's like, no, we want to show where we came from. And so we kept all that up, the old logos, the old band members. We acknowledged them like if they're still part of it today. And I think that's the most important part, is like we didn't try to stop and start fresh. We just like, hey, let's just keep it going and keep pushing and innovating, and show that we've developed over time, and show that we did it in the right way that we saw it fit.
I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. It's you got to show that growth, and it's like I see a lot of these up and coming bands, and they want to be Metallica tomorrow, and it's not going to happen. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Yeah, I mean it's easiest way easiest example of that is the dudes in Dark Divine have all been in bands before that. Local bands. I've played with them, and then now they're on Thriller and they're doing their thing and they're killing it. So it's like a lot of people get into the industry, like even if they think they have good songs, which a lot of people do, that's not how it happens. Like you have to go through,
Pay your dues.
you really have to pay your dues. It's different from when you had to do it before, but nowadays you still got to pay your dues, and it's a long road. But if you're committed to it, things can happen. It's you just got to stay with it. You can't, if you're not committed to more than at least 5 to 10 years, it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're gonna have that opportunity if you quit. So might as well just keep it going in your way that suits you. Hats off to everybody that's pursuing their own goals and career in the music industry, whether it's radio or artist management. None of this shit's easy, and I've been warned about it so many times before I got out of the army. It's like, you sure you want to get out? I'm like, I'm hurt, man. I have no choice. I'm still going to do music. Like, you could go do medical, you do whatever. I'm like, no, hard-headed as hell. I'm like, I'm going to try this out. I'm going to try this out. And of course, 9 years later, 10 years later, I'm still doing it, whether, in my own way and in our own way that works for us, and everybody's doing it that works for them. And, we congratulate each and all of our peers, whether they consider us rivals or our buddies or homies. We're all doing it for the love of it, and we appreciate everybody doing it for that same passion as well.
That, and also the love for each other, and not to get too, that's actually a very important part of it.
Yeah,
and that's
for sure.
We've had our differences at certain times, the whole that all of us have, and I think it's part of being a family. We've learned a lot about commitment and dedication, and it's really about purpose and passion. It's not about making it big necessarily. If that happens, it's awesome, but the experiences that we've had that I'll remember on my deathbed, hopefully I have a deathbed, I will, I will forever cherish. And I can't replicate those with anything else, whether, that's material. So the experiences, the relationships that we've built, it's irreplaceable.
Yeah, I can really relate to that, because the guys in my band, we've been doing it for like 15, 16 years, to the point where, and we're not, at this point, we're definitely not trying to get like, signed and all that. We play 2-3 shows a year. We love it. Our guitar player's son is now playing guitar in the band with us. I mean, that's how long we've been doing it. And it's family, you know what I mean? And that's the reward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I agree with that for sure. Like, even still, I get asked, like, when is Devil's Envy going to tour? Like, that's a great question. A lot of us want to, but at the right moment. I do see, like, even baby bands I've taken out on big tours where I'm production managing, and they're opening, and they're either like lost souls, like, just like, hey, like, what do we do next, or how can we afford this, or gas? I'm like, look, guys, come here. Yeah, no, you can't. And I'm like, these are young kids with big hearts and big dreams, and I love them. Discrepancies is out there killing it. Dropout Kings, holy cow, those guys are blowing up. And they were opening tours for us. I was touring with Nonpoint, and we had like big headliner tours, and we had these little baby bands come on, and they could barely afford to eat. And I'm making sure promoters are getting water, like, make sure they eat. Like, these guys are out here, busting their backs, and they're super young. Like, of course, like early 20s. I'm 38 now, and I'm like, I remember like early 20s. Like, I want to do that stuff. And now we just have to be more, responsible with our time. We have families, we have businesses. Right. But like you said, whether it's 2-3 shows a year, you're still a successful band. Whether you have 700 monthly followers on your Spotify or 7 million, you're still successful. You put it out there, you're performing, you're doing your own thing. You're investing in your business, whether it's a band or not, and putting in the time, the finances, the energy, the blood, sweat, and tears. Whether you're out there touring in a van every day, or you're playing fly dates, or you're playing occasionally, you're still doing what you love. You're still passionate about it. And if you have 10 listeners or 10 million, it's out there, and you're moving, and you're moving hearts out there. That's my whole big thing, is if my music can move and give someone meaning, I've already done my job.
That's a great way to end it right there. You nailed it, dude.
Jared puts it as a labor of love, like what we do at the radio station. It's a labor of love. And if we didn't love what we were doing, we wouldn't be doing it. And, like the same at Riff Media, when we work with clients like you, Kingdom Collapse, everyone becomes family.
Yeah.
And we love doing what we do to help these bands, get to where they need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people forget, like, Lamb of God didn't get big until they were like in their early 40s.
Right.
And now they're one of the biggest metal bands ever
on the planet.
So it's, I mean, if you do it for the love of it, it's going to be awesome either way. But you have to be, if you want to be in it for a career, you got to be committed to the long game. It's, some bands they hit that stride immediately. Some bands, like Lamb of God, they're in a bunch of different bands. They're in their 40s. Boom. They write their first album and everybody loves them. So it just sometimes it takes a while.
I think also sometimes we need to remember, for those of us who are in this industry and in this business, this is a really small community of people.
Mhm.
It might seem like it's tremendous and incredibly vast, but it really isn't. It's the
No,
same
not at all.
people who are coming together, who might be switching in and out of acts, who might be switching out of roles in terms of radio, promotion, booking, playing. You know what I mean? Talent. So I think at the end of the day, as long as everyone has each other's backs and we all treat each other with kindness and respect, we can elevate one another to the next level.
Absolutely.
That's why I want to take Sean's job. I'm going to kiss him on his right cheek.
Which one?
Thank you.
On the face?
Yeah, right. Good job. Which one?
No, Lisa, not on the face.
This
Right.
big guy here is probably the most affectionate in the whole band.
He says not on the face, but if he has a little bit too much whiskey after a show, he gives what we call
Actually,
the.
speaking of that, I'm running low.
No, I'm not pouring you in.
Yeah.
He gives us his big manly beard kisses on the cheek. He stops talking.
Well-
he just starts smiling, and then
When I finally
Well,
get
what-
over there to see you at a show, or you come over here at a show, he's the one I'm running to hug.
Yeah, no kidding.
he'll give you a hug immediately.
You're my person.
So where all the information that we haven't been able to release tonight, what's the best place people can go to stay up to date and get that when it's time?
So our website's really good. However, the Instagram I feel is like the most up to date.
Okay.
Newest stuff. We do have a Discord, but we're in between like admins right now, like moderators. So we do have some stuff there, like kind of archived for now.
Mhm.
So any stuff that we have released, like have either gone live or like YouTube or Facebook, you can go to our Discord, and that can all be found in our link. If you go to our Instagram page as @DevilsEnvy, you'll find our Linktree link, and it'll take you to everywhere you need to go, either website or Spotify, Apple, Tidal. It's all there. But the most information you'll find is on our Facebook, Instagram, or directly on our website.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, we appreciate y'all's time tonight, digging the tunes. Excited to see what y'all are going to do. The shows you got coming up, man. It's great.
Thank you.
Thanks
sure.
for having
Thank
us,
you.
man.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Of
Our
course.
pleasure.
We
We'll,
love it.
we'll work on getting you to the Gulf Coast very soon, hopefully.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
That. Short drive.
All right. Well, y'all have a great night.
All right, you
Thanks,
guys
guys.
too. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you,
Pleasure.
guys.